I don't do this all the time. I've done this maybe to 15 doors, probably in the last 10 years or less. Okay, look at that. Looks fine. And I'm gonna get my full force on here, and I'm gonna try to press down about the same amount. See how I just bent that? I'm going to take this one and do about the same amount that I did on that one. Same amount. I'm just trying to do it the same. Now I can step back and look at this and see that this one's got to go down over here just a bit. And I can kind of eyeball this. It looks like this middle one's got to go down just a little bit. Might have gone too much on this one.
How's it going?
Good. Okay. Don't worry if you go too far. Don't worry about it, because once you put it up there, you'll have to take it back down and do it again. You know, I want to look at this, and it looks like I've done pretty good. This middle one maybe has to go down just a hair farther. Okay. So now I want to, see there? I did that with this small crescent wrench. I didn't need the bigger one after all, but I'm going to keep this in my toolbox. I've got a bigger size than this too. You never know when you're going to need this. I could maybe need this if these hinges were 4-inch. They're going to be a little bit thicker, and especially 4.5-inch. I may have to bear down on this one or use a bigger crescent wrench on 4.5, but usually on residential you don't have anything like that. Okay, maybe your front door. Okay, so let's do this one here. And on this one, I'm going to try to not do it as much as this first hinge. Okay, because I want a little bit with this one, a little bit more on this one, because we're coming up at an angle. Okay, this one, I'm just doing this a touch. That's all. Did you see it move? It's still slightly. If I eyeball it, I can see that I moved that down a little bit. Okay. Just a tad here. I don't want this one. I don't want to bend this one as much as the top one, because we're coming up at an angle. If I do that middle one just the same amount as this one, as this top one, the same amount as that, when I put the door back on, the door frame, this one's going to be harder to get on because I bent that one just as far as that. If you could see, we're trying to taper up on how that door was laying. So I'm going to look at this, and it looks pretty good. See, I'm lining it up. If anything, that top one has to go down just a hair. And I'm just using my eye because we want the pin to go back in there. And this other one looks pretty good too. Okay, so that's my next step. So now we're going to rehang this door in the opening. Now, can you see what you think is going to happen here? That door should be up there, and it should now be pushed over closer to those top hinges, and that's going to raise the right hand side of the door up, and it should not rub on that other door. That's all the theory we have. The next thing is we got to pop this door back in place. Hey, here's a tip for you too. When you have your door down here at an angle, make sure you're taking care of which hinges to do. Once you set the door down, you don't want to think, oh my gosh, I did the bottom hinges instead of the top hinges. I wasn't paying attention, and I flipped the door around, and where I set it down to work on them, I just nonchalantly did the hinge, and it was the wrong one, because these are the top two hinges. Make sure of that. I think I might have done that once upon a time, and then I had to say, oh, stupid me, and then have to get it all put back together again. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to get this door back up.
Beautiful view.
Yeah, isn't it great? That's the $1 million view.
Oh yeah, oh, that's view of the radio. So close too.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, that's all I need. Oh yeah, I didn't lock that.
No, I'm going down there.
I'll wait
Okay,
for a
thank
minute.
you.
You're good?
I'm good.
Okay,
Oh.
good.
Have a good
Okay.
day.
You two
Okay.
can go through the garage.
Now I'm going to put this door back up, and instead of getting high up on my ladder, my little ladder, I'm going to go ahead and do the third hinge so I can reach it from the ground and then go back up to do the top hinge, because this is an 8-foot door, it's easier for me to do that. Usually I start from the top down, but in order to do this I'd have to lift that door up, be on the ladder at the same time, hold my breath, hold my mouth just right. Okay, so just going to get this middle one. I mean, I can still line up the top one and get it in so I can get the second one in right here. I'm just gonna put the hinge pin down a little bit. I'm not gonna put it all the way down, because then that may affect me from being able to do the other ones, okay? Now, it's fine. Some people I've seen crack me up. I've seen door guys, they try to install the first one, then they try to tilt the door up. I don't have any business doing it like that. I don't like that. Okay, there, I got that. And I'm not interested in getting that any further than the top two knuckles, okay? That's fine, it's not going down any further right now anyways. I'm not going to tag that in because these bottom two aren't lined up yet. Okay, so now I can take the door, move it, line it up how I want. Push on it a little bit. There. Okay. I'm going to tap this down just a little bit, and I can take my hammer and do it. But if you're afraid that you're going to mark up your door, which you could possibly do, I'm just going to take my cutters again, hold it up there, tap that. I'm not going to hit it all the way down yet because I may have to take the door back off in case I don't have it adjusted properly. Okay. This one could go just a little bit harder because I tweaked it back. Okay, so I may have to use my hammer here. I want to get that pin all the way through these knuckles so that I can see how this door is going to fit. Bye-bye, baby.
I'm going to start.
Okay, I'll just be here working.
Bye.
Okay. The moment of truth. I'm not going to stop the video camera. Okay? I'm not going to stop it yet. I want you to see what I see when I close the door. I'll take this one and close this door and see how far I've done. Wow, it looks pretty good right there. Let's get you in there closer. I'm going to get up on the ladder. Okay? This is the first time I've adjusted this so far. Okay, and you remember the gap that I had up here or didn't have? Look at this. Look at this. I love that. Look at that. Now this door is lined up with that. This gap is less. Okay, I could possibly lift this up just a hair higher if I wanted. And I might because this gap, we'll just see here. Okay, this all looks good. Now, let's look at the hinge side and see what's happened there. Doesn't that look nice? Look, here's the third hinge. See this gap here? Remember it was bigger before? Look how nice that is. And then going up from there. You got a nice little gap there. Granted, the gap is a little bit bigger there, but I think that's because of wherever their nails are. There's probably a shim in there, and they probably nailed that. If you put a straight edge on this entire door jamb, you would find that this section of the door jamb from here to here should have been pushed out a little bit further with an additional shim. But do you see how much less of an actual gap there is there? And look at that nice gap from there up. That looks nice. All because I took some time, took the door off, and tweak that. See, I bent those over, and because I bent them over all the same, I was able to push that up because these other hinge knuckles, the hinge pin, oh well, the hinge knuckles on the part that was on the door jamb is holding the rest of the door up. Isn't that nice? Look at that.